What is going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yocrates, and this is your review for Real Housewives of Potomac Season 9, Episode 2. So we pick up where we left off at the at Karen's birthday party, and obviously Mia is still in the bathroom. I'm gonna say in air quotes, she's crying. Production opens the door to film her, so it's you close. So it pretty much you're being dramatic. You close the door, but you don't lock it. If it could be locked, I don't know. Or even when the door opens, you didn't try to push it back closed. So all of the theatrics and whatnot. Um, Wendy at the table is reiterating to them, that they are all mothers, and kind of like think about that, lead with that. Gizzard decides to move on with the party and addresses Wendy, saying that their relationship is in the bucket and, she would like to be in a better place and meet tomorrow. Then she gives her a bucket hat. And Wendy had a very cringy moment where she said something along the lines of, "My name is Wendy and I'm the best, and all the girls want to feel on my breast," and everybody is looking like, "What? No, why?" As cringy as that was, I laughed. Like it's one of those where, okay, yeah, somebody's trying to make the best of the moment and just fell flat on their face. But again, good, clean fun here for it. Mia returns, and Karen and Giselle ultimately apologize because they were not trying to make her quote unquote cry. So we get Giselle and Wendy. I just want to say this was a wasted scene for me. Unless this scene was chopped up to where we did not get them discussing stuff, because it like I'm not here for the flashbacks. I'm here for them actually discussing what happened, especially because it's not like it was like one little incident. It was a plethora of incidents that got them to this point. Nothing was like, I'm gonna give you the notes, but nothing was discussed. And yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have a problem with Wendy for the remainder of this season. Like, if this is all that it took for you to sit here and just bury the hatchet, and now you finna see y'all, just bosom buddies and whatnot, I don't know if I'm gonna be a fan. But anyway, Giselle wants, to listen to Wendy for that to be reciprocated. Yet Giselle starts off first and says when Wendy is fine, she's fine. But when she's angry, she's condescending. Wendy said it's unfair to police someone's response. She doesn't like how, Gizzard alienates people. Giselle agrees that, she has a problem with, I'm sorry, agrees that if she has a problem moving forward, that she will tell her in the moment, and they rehash the event from yesterday. Like, literally, that's all that happened, where nothing really got discussed. So it's, and again, like the Housewives formula typically is they have, little drama. Not saying that is petty or whatever, but they have their little drama. They deal with it for 2, 3 episodes. They come to, a happy medium, and then they move on to something else. And now some other people have a problem. But with them, these were deep rooted issues spearheaded by Gizzard and by Doobie Wig, and Doobie Wig ain't here no more. But it don't even matter. We'll talk about this later on the panel tonight. Make sure you guys are there. We're at Terrence's house. So we have Stacy. Found out she's from Detroit. Her daughter is trilingual, so knows English and knows German. Is learning Espanol. She lives with her husband, even though they are divorcing. Um, and they have not told their daughter because they want to wait until things are concrete, what the custody is going to look like, where she's going to go to school, this, that, and third. I would just hope that when they do tell their daughter, there's enough time for their daughter to process it, not, oh yeah, we're getting divorced, da da da. Oh, your new school is here. Yeah, you start school in 3 weeks. Boom. Like, hopefully not that. And let's see. She has her a home in the suburbs of DC and an apartment in DC proper. And she tries to plan it where when her husband is in town, she's in her apartment at quote unquote, working quote unquote. And when he leaves for whatever his business trips are, then she's back in the suburbs. That's a whole lot. But I get it, and she knows he's with somebody, she likes somebody, so try and navigate that whole thing. Um and like this is one of those where it seems like it's a pretty good story. Like we'll see what comes of it. But yeah, it's where it's a conversation we gonna have in a minute that I'm just like, oh, here we go. So anyway, we have Karen. She's with Kiara. Now, I'm gonna call her Kiki. So Kiki stops by. And they've built their relationship. Like it started last season, especially after what happened at the finale. With Deborah and whatnot. It's just grown from there. Kiki is working towards cohabitation with her boyfriend. They're building a house together from the ground up. I will say, and I say this to all people, whether man or woman, if you are thinking about cohabitating with someone, if you already have your own, keep your own. Even if you get married, still keep your own. Don't sell nothing that your name is on that is yours. Keep it. You already have it. I'm just throwing it out now. She says that the last time that she lived with someone that was her late fiance, and I believe she said that was like 9 years ago. So she's trying to, kind of navigate that. And Kiki wasn't invited to Karen's party, and she's unsure if she is even going to go to the GNA thing because it's like, yeah, I wasn't invited. So 'cause that was Karen's whole thing. Was like, I didn't see you there. She was like, I wasn't even invited. So now we get Hey Arnold and we get Stacy. Now Hey Arnold shades Stacy's voice in her interview, saying how you have some people that have almost like an anchor voice and don't know how to turn it off. Shade, shade. And again, a lot of it is the code switching, and sometimes some people have been in that realm so much to where they just keep it on at all times, and sometimes it's a bit of a safety precaution. And at the same exact time, we don't know what circles Stacy runs in slash used to run in by virtue of her husband. So there's that. Stacy doesn't know who cuts her grass, and they make that a big deal. I don't really know if that is a big deal, but again, like, don't ask me who. Like, if y'all were like, well, who cut your grass? I cut my. Well, actually, like I said, these are my mother's buildings that she inherited from her parents, but I cut the grass. So, but I would at least know the company. But that would be one of those where if I did, because like I said, I'm probably going to have some people do it next year. My mom probably wouldn't know who's cutting the grass. She probably won't even know the company because I'll probably be the one, flipping the bill. But it doesn't even matter. Whatever. I guess they're trying to show her as possibly being elitist. I don't know. So Hey Arnold thinks that it's crazy that Stacy still, lives with her soon to be ex-husband. And I'm looking like, I know you ain't talking now. They showed a flashback and I'm glad they did. Cause I'm just like, Ashley, you the last one to be judging somebody. Please sit down somewhere. Don't do that. So they talk about nationality, and Ashley identifies as a black woman even though she's biracial. Her boys have not had the exposure of the other of I'm sorry, the exposure other than family of their blackness. Stacy says her daughter shares her father's pride of being German and wants her to be proud to be black. And this is one of those things where I've always heard that the culture is always held by the woman and the identity is always held by the man. I've always heard that. Don't know how true that is, but this is one of those things where let's keep it a bug. Y'all are in an interracial relationship, chose to have children, so this is not so y'all didn't think about this. And I'm gonna say I'm called like this is cap. This is some bull because you're not finna sit here and tell me that you're like because while you're in this relationship with these men, y'all want y'all kids to assimilate. You cannot tell me any different. You can't tell me any different. Now that there's this separation, now you want to have this question of, oh, well, what is their identity going to be? like you shouldn't have been thinking about that before. With Stacy, okay, their father is a proud German. And here's the thing, I was in Germany, yes, not even just Germans, a lot of Europeans very proud. And it's a beautiful thing. You should be just as proud. So just as much as she was being around his family and learning about that, your daughter should have been around your family learning about her culture. So I want to know, why wasn't that so? Was he keeping you from being there? Are you ashamed of how you grew up? These are the questions that need to be asked. Because you know what? I'm gonna just leave it there, because this can get into a very muddy, murky place to where it can come off as me being insensitive. But we just here to, tell the truth on what it is. And you do have some women where they do have, biracial, multiracial children, not necessarily to eradicate, the blackness, but to provide them with a somewhat better opportunity. Because let's keep it above, the lighter your skin, better opportunities you get, especially, if there is blackness in your ancestry. And then, of course, it's the not having a very ethnic name to increase your chances of, jobs, this, that, and third, blah, 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 rah, rah, rah. So, miss me with the bull. So Stacy said is pretty much being vulnerable with Ashley. Why? I don't know. Stacy, please, if you ain't watched this show and just decided to be on it, ma'am, you is a fool. Ashley is the last person that you should be sitting here divulging any information to, but I digress. So she lets her know that you know, she's in love with someone. I think she said they've been dating for, I think, 3 months, but they've known each other for a hot minute. But he's a devout Christian. There is no intimacy. Her and TJ, that's his name, met during while he was auditioning for QVC. They go to church, they work out a lot. And that is it. And again, to me, this does make for a decent enough story, because we don't see this. And again, there's nothing wrong with him being devout. Like I said, that's his thing. Like I said, I'm Jewish and all that, but I have been oh geez. Whoo! Say it out loud. Why? Let's just say I've been. Is it not really celibate? I've abstained from sex. I've been abstinent for over 20 years. Do with that what you will. It has nothing to do with my faith. It has nothing to do with my religion. It has everything to do with just where I am as a person, which obviously I know if I'm dating or whatnot, that's going to be a point of contention. And because I have abstained for so much, like it's really one of those, like, that's the furthest thing in my mind. Like, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm more, like I said, I'm at that point where if I'm dating, I want that meaningful connection. It ain't got nothing to do with sex. I don't really care that much about that. So again, we'll make for a great dynamic. I just need for them to be truthful in, the display of this. So now we get Giselle. So Karen has a car service drop her off. Of course, production's letting us know that. Giselle asks, did she have a nice party? Karen feels it was an inquisition. Giselle brings up the lunch she had with Wendy, shares that, Jacqueline had a lot of questions for Karen, but didn't share them. Karen is like, okay, well, she is in timeout because she wants to wait for a verdict. And Karen, says her friends will roll with her no matter what the outcome is. So you just won't do girls and you won't yes people. Just say that. You feel me? I mean, look, I get it. I get it. You want your people to rock with you. My thing is, I want my friends to rock with me. Like, I want them to, rock with me, but hold me accountable. And I think that's the part that we're not getting from Karen, is the fact that you want them to rock with you regardless of what goes down. But there's the part of holding you accountable. And it's hard to hold someone accountable when they can't divulge. And I got it, legal stuff. But let's be clear. We've told our friends like the nitty gritty, but it's like, don't repeat this to nobody. We've done that. So yeah, I don't really like that current. So Giselle brings up Kiki, and Karen, lets her know that Kiki felt slighted because she was left out. Giselle says that, there was only but so much room in the space for me to invite so many people, and she has no problem with Kiki. But I think if we back the truck up, I think what it was is, at that point in time, Kiki was not considered to be a part of the cast. So again, this is a cast, type of thing that was being put on by Giselle, which is why Jazzy was there, because I think Jazzy was supposed to be an actual, flute holder, which is why she was there. So, but again, they can't necessarily say that because again, that breaks the fourth wall. So, yeah. So Giselle says GNA is moving to, health and wellness because of her father. Everything is because of her father. And look, I'm gonna say this: people would not let Karen, use her mother as her parents as a crutch. I ain't gonna let Giselle use her daddy as a crutch. I said it. Karen is getting an award the same day. She doesn't know the time, even though on the flyer they show us that it's between 6 and 9. But she says she will be there. Giselle says in her interview that she was invited to this same event roughly 3 months ago. Karen was not on the award list, so maybe somebody must have dropped out or couldn't make it, and then Karen asked to be honored. So it's the day of the event. Karen sends a text message to the group at 6 something that morning, pretty much saying that there are two events going on at the same time. Transportation will be available from her event, to the GNA event. Giselle does not want the girls to come to her event. So that happens. I'm sorry. Then we actually jump to Giselle and Ashley's event. Giselle don't want the girls there if they finna go to both. Like, it's pick a side. And I do kind of get Giselle. Not even kind of, I do get Giselle. Like, this was brought to y'all first. Y'all already said y'all were coming. So since you said you were coming, why would you do me like that? Like, y'all should be coming here, right? Get it, got it. Here's the other thing, though. It's the other part of when it comes to these shows. If there are multiple events in one day, production primarily is going to film where the majority of the cast is. This is why Giselle is upset, because if everybody is at Karen's event, then there's no need for, like, they can still film her event, but if there's nothing there, then there's nothing to show, which means they don't get paid for that scene. Which is why Giselle has the attitude that she has, because okay, I need to turn up some way somehow, because if the girls don't come, we need this footage. We need this scene to be shot. So I get the frustration, and I mean, just the principle of the matter, I do understand why she's upset. Don't think I don't. Kiki, Jazzy, Stacy, Mia, and Wendy go to Karen's event. Vivian and Jacqueline show up to the GNA event because they RSVP. The other girls are going to try their best to be there by 8. Giselle's whole thing is, if they're not there by 7:30, they don't need to be here. Even though the event ends at 9, they're trying to be there by 8. Jacqueline feels left out of the, because like there's a group chat, she wasn't in it, and she feels that maybe I'm left out because I spoke up. Giselle fans the flames on there, like, yeah, she was mad and all this other stuff because she's mad with Karen. Kiki and Wendy decide to stay at Karen's event, and we don't really get much from there because they left before Karen got the award, so it's safe to assume that we'll get that portion next week, because the way it ended, they're probably going to pick back up from right before the girls left. Giselle on her messy stuff, and then Karen getting her award and whatever. But Kiki, like, I did the GNA last year, I got hit in the head. Wendy, whole thing is, I came here to see Karen get an award. Karen has yet to get the award, so I'm going to stay until Karen gets the award. So the girls get there, the remaining girls get to the GNA event by 8:02. Gizzy is not having it, tell them they can leave, and then she calls security. And that is where it ends. So a lot going on in this episode. Not even gonna lie, wasn't even that bad. I feel like this episode was better than the first. And I do like that we got a lot of Stacy. So I need for Stacy to keep on with this momentum. I need to get more from Kiarna. And we just gonna see where we gonna go from this. But yeah, kicking people at the party or whatnot. All right. I still don't know how to feel because I literally just finished watching the episode. So I'm still trying to process that. I mean, I'm still stuck on the whole, black women, African American, foundational black women, whatever you want to call, us as a people, but more or less talking about the women. and even the men, like I'm still just, on the thing of y'all sitting here in these bi, tri, multi racial relationships, and then when it dissolves, now you're concerned about, the identity of your child. But look, we'll talk about that later on the panel. That's all that I have for y'all. So please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all tonight at Give You the Real Tease House for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. Y'all have a great Indigenous People Day, and I will see you all later. Bye.